channel. Johnny Gunner here. And before we get started, it pains me to say, I'm almost spitting up blood as the words exit my mouth, but you have to say it. Congratulations to Manchester United in winning the FA Cup. They beat Manchester City. No one saw it coming. Nobody thought that they had a chance. No one gave them a chance, but I predicted a 3-1 City victory, but let's keep it real. I did point out this dude, nobody knows what's going to happen in a final. It's a one-off game. I even said if Erik ten Hag puts them in a low block, if they're able to execute their game plan and finish their chances when they get them, they have a shot. You don't know what's going to happen. You have to go for it in a final, and they did. And fair play to them, man. They went out there and they salvaged their season. You know, it was the worst season that Manchester United has ever had. 8th place finish, -1 goal differential. They lost like 13 or 14 games, if I'm not mistaken. However, they won a trophy. So fair play to them. You know, like I've always said, you have to put things into perspective, right? So they were looking at a season without European football. They were looking at a season where they didn't know what was going to happen as far as their manager goes, who they were going to turn to, where they were going to turn to. They didn't know what direction the football club was going in. And it seems, if you listen to all the United fans online and the ones that are in my comment sections and all that stuff, that they have it all figured out. Sign Ten Hag up for another 10 years, give him another 400 million, and let's just see which direction the boat goes out to. In my opinion, I don't like either one of these clubs. I have a real disdain, borderline hatred for Manchester United. Like, I really do not like that club. But at the same time, Manchester City allegedly have cheated their way to the top. Like, 115 charges don't just spring up out of nothing. You know, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'm not going to pretend that I fully understand what's going on. But I don't have obviously a background in law. However, you don't have to be a lawyer to understand what exactly these guys did. You know, but they'll get their day in court. They have super high-powered attorneys. But let's just put it this way. Everyone's saying, oh, they're going to get away with it. They're going to get a fine. They're going to get away with it, whatever. Okay. Leicester City, who's coming up from the Championship, which is England's second division, they're coming up. They earned promotion. They messed up in financial fair play, which means they spent more money than what is within their financial parameters that's laid out to them. You see, when a club can only spend 70% of the amount of revenue that they bring in. So, just for sake of argument, if they bring in $100, they can only spend 70 of those dollars on transfers, wages, and that's the entirety of the club. They went over that. So they're gonna come, they earned promotion back into the Premiership, but they're probably gonna have to start the season with a points deduction, meaning they're gonna start the season with negative points. So from the beginning, that's gonna be an uphill battle. They had, I believe, just a handful of charges, if more than just one. Manchester City has 115 to answer for. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'm not going to act like I understand exactly what all the allegations are. I've read that some of them are as ridiculous as having the grass too long in their training pitches. That's true. So, I mean, who knows what's going to stick, what's going to fall. But if there's any justice in football, you know what? I don't even want to get into all that, dude. They're going to get their day in court. But anyways, that's my ADHD kicking in. Manchester United, congratulations. Hopefully you guys sign Erik ten Hag up for another 10 years and you guys give him $1 billion to spend, because he's got it all figured out. You know, 10 more years, right? Okay, let's get into the transfer news now. Benjamin Sesko. This is a Slovenian player, 6'3", 185 pounds, 21 years old. The guy was born in 2003. I was an 8th grader in 2003. I mean, god damn, it's almost like I'm not gonna make it at the pro level. You know, shit. Anyways, this dude is an absolute baller. I love his game. He's 6'3", 185-pound striker. He runs like a gazelle. He's a similar profile, and you know, people are gonna be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. How dare you? Zlatan is a legend. He's primarily right-footed, but he's really both-footed. I've seen this guy. I've watched him play at length, and I've seen him score goals with his left foot from 22 yards out. Like this guy's an absolute baller. His touch, his pace, his acceleration, his positioning, his intelligence, his finishing. He's a really, really, really good center forward player. Like I mean, I don't really know like what. I mean, aside from his lack of experience, you know, what real weaknesses does he have to his game? I mean, he's good in the air. You know, he's a good finisher. He's good in build-up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't see any real faults to his game. To me, in my opinion, everybody says to go for a striker that's the finished article. I think that he would be the perfect addition. I think that, you see football, the way that it works is that you have to bring in players that complement what you already have. So when you bring in a player like a Benjamin Sesko, who's very, very, very good technically on the ball, he's a good passer of the ball, maybe not, I mean, he's a striker, so what does it matter if he isn't really that great at crossing? He's not going to be taking corners. He would complement our side tremendously. 40 million is his transfer market value. I say go for it. You know, people say go for Alexander Isak. 3 years ago, we were interested in Alexander Isak. He was the exact same profile that Benjamin Sesko is right now. And right now, Isak is, I mean, they're talking about 150 million for him. They're out of their mind. Arsenal doesn't need to spend 150 million on any one single player. So, Benjamin Sesko, 100%. That is a player that I would go for. There's another one. Youssouf Fofana, I believe he's French and Cameroonian. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's from Cameroon, and those are like his nationalities. I believe French and Cameroon. He plays for a French team called AS Monaco. 5'9", 155 pounds, central defensive midfielder. The perfect replacement for Thomas Partey. You know, Thomas is going into his last year with Arsenal Football Club. There haven't been any discussions as to whether or not we're going to extend his contract. We haven't sat down and negotiated a new contract. We all know that the elephant in the room with Partey is not his ability, it's not his attitude, it's not his work rate, it's not his class. It is the fact that this guy stays hurt. He's always hurt. You can't count on him. You know, the best ability is availability. And unfortunately, Thomas Partey lacks that. You know, he's a great footballer, top class. But he's just never available. What good are you to me if you're constantly on the trainer's table? You know, so Youssouf Fofana, I feel like, is at that level. He is that type of player. He's considerably smaller. He's 5'9", 155 pounds. Kind of weak in the aerial duels, and he can be a bit rash at times. He's known for picking up yellows, and I don't know if, I think he picked up 1 red last year, but he's picked up a handful of yellow cards, I think 8 or 9 of them. So he can be, there's a little bit of an issue with his discipline there, but that can also be attributed to the fact that perhaps the players around him are not as good as he is, so sometimes he kind of has to make a last-ditch tackle in order to kind of save a situation. You know, that those things happen. You know, Lisandro Martinez is the same way. The defender for Tottenham, Christian Romero, he's the same way. You know, a lot of times they're having to sweep up other people's errors. They would rather take the yellow than give up a one-on-one with the goalie. Another one that I want to talk about is Marcus Rashford. For me, it's an absolute no. Absolutely not. No way. Not because of his ability, not because of the fact that he's from Manchester United and I don't want to give money to the ops. That's not why. For me, it's a financial thing. £375,000 a week is way too much money. That would completely blow up our wage structure. right? I think our top earner is Kai Havertz at like 260 a week. So this guy's going to be making well over 100,000 pounds more. And if Marcus Rashford comes into the team, does he make his way into the starting 11? Does he knock Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli or Kai Havertz out of either the left wing or the striker position? I don't think that he does. I really don't. What he does bring to the table is he's a game winner. He can score you a goal out of nowhere. But me personally, $375 a week and an 80 million transfer fee that United is going to want for a 28-year-old? No. No, absolutely not. I personally do not think that would be good business. The player that I would go for, like I said, would be Benjamin Sesko. He is an absolute baller. There's another player for Everton. His name's Amadou Onana. But he's a defensive midfielder, similar to Thomas Partey. He's an absolute baller. He showed out last game of the year, played very, very well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for the view. Thank you so much for the support that I've been getting. The last video did amazing. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been coming out, showing a ton of support. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we're out.